Hey, it's your boy back in the house, and today's video is about calories. To be more exact, how calories make us fat, which I will cover at the end, but I do not recommend for you to skip till the end, which you could. But how I like to present is actually I like to stack upon my points so I can give you the understanding with precision so you can have the ultimate clarity on how calories make us fat at the end. So the first thing and the main thing that you need to understand is what calories are in general. Calories is a unit of energy that your body uses for fuel. But what you need to understand is that not all calories are the same. So that's why calorie deficit is not completely right. I'm not saying that it's completely wrong. There are just some parts of calorie deficit that don't really make sense if you look at it from an anatomical perspective and biological perspective on how our body really works. And the reason why not all calories are the same is because it's simple. Most of us just know this. It's the same to eat a salad and 100 calories of salad, and it's not the same to eat 100 calories of sugar. That's completely different. And the reason why it's different is because it affects our gut bacteria differently. It affects our hormones. It affects our hormones, which are the driving factors of fat metabolism, exactly how calories make us fat. And now to understand why not all calories are the same is that calories are separated in three groups. There are calories from carbohydrates, calories from proteins, and calories from fats. 1 gram of carbohydrates has 4 calories, 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, and 1 gram of fats have 9 calories. So that is just an amount of calories. So if you're on a caloric deficit, that should do it. You just have to count the amount of calories and eat less than your body burns. But where the calorie deficit kind of falls down is so when you eat a food that's full of carbohydrates, for example, sugar is 100% carbohydrate, and what that does, after you eat that food in your stomach, that food will get turned into glucose, basically. Glucose is the main source of fuel, what our body uses for fuel. Basically, every cell in your body uses glucose for fuel. Calories get turned into glucose. That's what you need to understand. So after you eat calories, your body doesn't just use calories. That food goes into your stomach, it gets turned into glucose, in other words, into sugar, and it goes into your blood. And then through your blood, it takes you to the cells of your body, for example, brain cells, liver cells, kidney cells, heart cells, whatever. And they get actually used for energy so your body can function and you can do stuff in your life. And the main source that your brain uses is the glucose. Your brain uses calories from glucose. The second type of calories are calories from proteins. What that does, after you eat it, goes into your stomach and it gets turned into amino acids. Amino acids. They're main building blocks of proteins, and basically your proteins get broken down into amino acids, and then your body uses amino acids. Then your body uses amino acids to repair your muscles, to grow your muscles, also to produce certain hormones. Amino acids have a lot of functions, but also when your body doesn't need more amino acids, your body converts these amino acids, takes them to your liver and converts them into glucose. So again, glucose is the main source that your body uses for fuel. And because proteins need to be converted into amino acids and amino acids to glucose, what that actually does, your body needs a lot of energy, uses a lot of calories just to digest protein. So for example, if you eat 100 calories of carbohydrates and if you eat 100 calories of protein, that's completely different just because your body won't be able to absorb 100 calories of protein. Your body needs to use like 50% of those calories just to digest protein itself. Now this is not the exact number, I'm not really sure what the right number is, but around this number is somewhere like around 50%. For example, if you eat 100 calories of protein, only like 50% of those calories can be absorbed because 50% is needed to actually digest it itself. On the other hand, while carbohydrates, if you eat 100 calories of that instantly gets super quickly turned into glucose. Your body doesn't need much energy to digest carbohydrates, and then what that does, like over 90 calories of those 100 calories can be actually absorbed. See how much more inefficiency protein has and how much harder it is on your body to actually digest it, and therefore uses way more energy just to digest it. And fats, on the other hand, they first have to be turned into fatty acids. Fatty acids. And then your fatty acids also can be used for many different things in your body. But the thing with fatty acids is they cannot be turned into glucose. So what you understand is that your body's main source of fuel are carbohydrates, and after that, after carbohydrates are used, then your body switches to fatty acids. That's why there's a myth that actually fats make you fat. That is the main thing you should avoid, but it's not. You should not avoid fats. You should just have a moderate amount of fats in your diet. Now, when it comes to fats, you should avoid fats from processed foods because the processing of those fats makes it really bad. So, like saturated fats from oils, from candy, you should actually avoid those fats because they're super bad. But you should eat a lot more good fats, which are from like natural nuts, avocados, and stuff like that, because your body reacts to different fats completely differently. So the main thing, you should avoid, I put it actually in red because it's red. You should not do it. You should not eat it as much. Are carbohydrates because they will get absorbed the fastest by your body, and there's just the least amount of blocks for your body to actually absorb it. As you can see, carbs instantly get turned into your body's main source of fuel, glucose. And 1 gram of glucose has 4 calories. Now, if you want to actually exactly know which foods are bad for you and which ones are good for you, those foods are the ones that actually impact your glucose levels the most. If those foods spike up way too much glucose in your blood, then that's actually bad for you if you want to lose weight. But if it doesn't, then that food is actually good for you. It won't promote fat gain. And basically the list you can find is just find a list of foods that have a low glycemic index and glycemic load. I'm gonna pop a picture on the screen. So basically the lower the number next to that food is that food is better for you, and the higher the number, the more fat gain it's going to promote. Because that number next to that food actually tells us how much that food is going to spike up glucose in our bloodstreams. So now that you understand that glucose is our main source of fuel that your body uses, and 1 gram of it has 4 calories, this is how our body actually responds when you eat foods that are that actually spike up your glucose a lot. So basically, you eat foods that have a high glycemic index and glycemic load, and that's, let's say, food, and that food spikes up glucose in your bloodstream. So basically, it converts it into your body's main source of fuel. And then that glucose, now what that does, your body tells your pancreas to increase the production of a hormone called insulin. So your insulin levels go up, and then what that happens, insulin is the hormone that actually takes glucose and takes it to your cells where they get used. And also, what if there's extra glucose, the extra glucose has nowhere else to go, and then you simply have to be taken to your fat cells where they get stored. And basically, high levels of insulin take it to your fat and actually gain fat. So insulin is the hormone that promotes fat gain. And right now, I'm going to explain to you exactly what needs to happen to your body, what you need to do in order for your body to switch to fat burning. Basically, if you do the things right, you eat foods that are low in glycemic index and glycemic load, find the foods that have a low number of that, and basically what that's going to do, or when you don't eat at all, when you fast, this is also what happens. Fasting actually promotes this the most. Now, you're going to have low levels of glucose in your bloodstream, basically because you just did everything right. Low levels of glucose, and that's going to lead to low levels of insulin. Now, if there's low levels of insulin, your pancreas produces the opposite hormone called glucagon. So basically high levels of glucagon. Glucagon, a hormone that actually burns fat. It actually takes your fat cells and creates energy with them. And when it creates energy out of fat, that means you are burning fat. Burning fat. Now, the reason to why that happens is really, really interesting because, for example, this is a fat person, let's say. Okay, this looks like a teddy bear, but whatever. So this is their fat, and then how that really looks, their fat looks like this. It's a lot of fat cells. This is called adipose tissues. Adipose tissue. And adipose tissues are made out of adipocytes called fat cells, basically in English language. And a fat cell looks like this. This is a fat cell, and inside your body has little triglycerides. These are energy molecules that your body uses for fuel. Basically, this is the base form of how your fat looks like. And what we said, what needs to happen for your body to burn fat is you need to have low levels of insulin. So when there are low levels of insulin in your body, what's going to happen that's going to increase the levels of hormone called glucagon. And what glucagon does, it actually breaks down your fat and creates energy. And how it does that, glucagon takes these little triglycerides, takes them out of the cell, takes them to the bloodstream, where they get converted into glucose and other or fatty acids, whatever. They get converted into energy, and your body uses them for fuel. So basically, they get out of the cell, get used for energy, while the fat cell actually gets smaller. So all of the fat cells get smaller, and then a person gets smaller in general. They burn fat. So when a cell loses triglycerides, energy molecules, it actually shrinks and loses its size. And that process is called lipolysis, basically burning fat. When these guys, triglycerides, get out of the cell to your bloodstream and they get used as energy by the rest of your body. And the opposite of thing, when you gain fat, basically what we said, when you gain fat is when your insulin levels are high, basically when you have high levels of insulin. And what's that going to happen to glucagon? Glucagon will be very low, so your glucagon cannot do its job. So insulin takes over, and insulin is the hormone that tells your body that it's time to store fat if there's extra glucose. So basically when you eat something that's super high in glycemic index and glycemic load, that spikes up your glucose way too much, your blood sugar way too much. And what that does, your body at that time doesn't need that much in your bloodstream. From your bloodstream, it has to be taken away. Glucose needs to be taken away, or you're gonna get unconscious or maybe possibly even die. So insulin is actually important, and in order to actually get it out of your system, your body actually takes it to your fat cell because it's the only route it can go. And now when your insulin actually takes them, when insulin takes glucose into your cells, what happens? Your body actually takes glucose and other sources of energy and creates energy molecules called triglycerides, and it takes them to your cell. So basically your cell actually gets more triglycerides. The more of the bad foods that you eat are high in glycemic index and load, there's going to be more glucose, and more glucose will lead to more insulin, and more insulin is going to create more of these triglycerides, and triglycerides are going to be stored into your fat cells where they get actually stored. And if they get stored, there's more of them in the cell, and basically the fat cell gains its size, then all of the fat cells gain size, and when all fat cells gain size, a person gains size as well. And that is the body fat metabolism. That's how our body stores fat or actually burns fat. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it made sense. If you have any question, please comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And leave a like, comment and subscribe. Press that bell button to get notified when I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next one.